Hello pretty people, I'm Izzy aka the Quirky Environmentalist, and here on this channel as well as my blog we talk about sustainable living, ethical fashion, environmentalism and lots of lovely stuff like that. And today we're diving into what has happened with lost stock books. Now a few months ago I made a video all about what lost stock books is, what I thought about it, the ethics, the reason it exists. And for my tiny channel, this video did very well, and I know that a lot of people who subscribe to me thanks to this video did so because they wanted to see me do an unboxing. I had lots of people asking if I was going to buy one so that they could see it, and though in this video you will be seeing what is in lost stock box, do not fret. I didn't actually buy one myself and I'm really glad that I didn't buy one myself. I decided I didn't really need the clothes and just donated money direct to the Sketchy Foundation, who lost stock box support, as well as a couple of other charities and foundations that are helping support garment workers in this difficult time, and I've left the links if you want to do the same. But yeah, everyone started to receive their lost stock boxes now, at least the first batch, and it's not going well. So we're going to have a look at what people have received in their lost stock boxes, the good, the bad, the ugly, and we're also going to talk about the ethics and the sustainability of everything that's going on with lost stock box, because that is what we do on this channel. So let's get into it. If you're not sure what lost stock box is, then I suggest you go and watch my video looking in depth at what it is, what exists. But basically lots of brands during lockdown just refused to pay their supply chains. Clothes had already been made, they were ready to be shipped, and brands went, you know what, don't want these clothes, we're not going to pay you for them. Because of this, suppliers lost out on money, factories lost out on money, and garment workers who are already vulnerable, already paid very little, have literally nothing to live on. So lost stock box swoops in with an idea to buy the surplus stock from these factories and give money direct to the Sketchy Foundation, who are helping garment workers in Bangladesh survive. So they're keeping clothes out of landfill and they're helping people at the same time, which seems like a great idea, but I go into that fully in that video and sort of explain why it's a good idea, but it also shouldn't exist and it's not that amazing. But now over 100,000 people ordered these lost stock boxes and the first batches of them have gone out and there are some issues, to put it mildly. Yes. To start things off well, I'll start with the good. I have seen a fair few people pretty happy with what they received in their lost stock box. I had a look through Twitter and there are lots of people saying, look what I got in my box, I'm really happy to get some summer clothes and also support a garment worker, which is lovely. But that's about where it ends, because that is not the majority of people for various reasons, mainly because of what's in the boxes. So when you first ordered a box from Lost Stock, they had a form on their website where you filled out your size and some preferences, so whether you wanted lights, darks or neutrals, whether you liked patterned or plain clothing, and whether you liked loose fitting or baggy clothing. And this made it seem like you were getting at least something that you would probably like in your lost stock box, and that the boxes would look different for different people depending on their preferences, so that people got clothes they wanted and less was going to end up in landfill because people would actually wear the clothes they wanted. But this, at least in the first batch, has not happened. And I'm gonna show you 3 different people's reviews on the lost stock box and you're gonna see why. All of these reviews will be linked in my description, so you can go there and read them yourself in more depth. I'm going to skim over them a little bit, but you will see what is in these boxes. Do not worry, I know that's what a lot of you are here for. But first off, we're looking at Besma from Curiously Conscious's review. Besma is a friend of mine, she runs a sustainable fashion blog, and she ordered a box back in March. She said her gender on there was female, size small, age 25 to 30, neutral colours, no patterns, regular fit, regular style, and she received 4 items, and one of her items had the Matalan label still in it, so she knows at least one of these items of clothing is from Matalan. Shame on you, Matalan, for not paying your garment workers. So her first garment was a plain white vest top, kind of see-through. She said, it's a bit shit, it's so thin, It's poor quality and it is not worth what she would expect it to be worth, considering the box, Lost Stock said the boxes were worth £70 altogether. And she didn't really like it. The second was a teal strap top. She said it's okay, it's not really her style, but it does fit the specs that she asked for. Third top is a green linen strap top. She really likes this. This is very much Besma's style. I could see her buying this if it was directly from a sustainable brand, and she really liked it, but the fit wasn't that great. And number 4 is a patterned A-line dress. This is not Besma's style. I don't think it's that many styles. She said that it doesn't fit with the 25 to 30-year-old age range that she put in, and she just doesn't like it. Overall, she says that she's been left with 3 items she doesn't want, and she's worried because if she has 3 items she doesn't want and 112,000 people have ordered this box and a lot of them have 3 items they don't want, what's happening to these items? This was supposed to stop stuff going into landfill. Is it serving that purpose? And she's kind of sad that she bought one. She wouldn't recommend the box, which is a shame and a theme. Next review is from Ellie from Take It Up, Wear It Out. She's also an internet friend of mine. She talks about sustainable fashion as well. There is a theme here. And she had a review on Twitter and she said that she disagreed with the labels being taken out, which I also disagree with. It takes accountability away from the brands, but as the anti-shopper said, it's probably there to protect the suppliers. She received a white top with some frilly bits in it. She received a yellow top, and that was actually from Matalan. She found it on their website currently being sold. So again, shame on you, Matalan, for not paying your garment workers, and also discovered that this top was not worth that much money. Thirdly is the same grey vest top that Besma received, and that's the label's just being cut off there. I'm not sure what she put in as her preferences, but they found out that a lot of these items are from Mataland, and she received 2 of the same items as Besma. And finally, looking more specifically into reviews of these, we have Psycho Traveller, who made a video. It is on her YouTube, and she touches on a lot of the points that I am touching on in this video. It's really good if you want more information. But she received a white top that she didn't really like. She received the same vest top and said it was also see-through. She received the same yellow vest top that Ellie did, and she also received a red slip dress, which I quite like, but she says it's really thin and she wouldn't imagine wearing it anyway because it is not very good quality. And that a lot of this stuff is from Mataland. It is not worth, her box is not worth £70. I think she said even that it's barely worth the £35 paid for the box, and she and many others are not happy. And there are review after review after review, mini reviews I found on Twitter, that Facebook is full of reviews. It seems because Psycho Traveller said that she wanted darks, and that none of the stuff in the box was anything her style. She never really wears colours. She wouldn't have ordered the box if she knew that that was what was coming, and it seems that no matter what anyone's preference was put, they all received the same light, flowy, summery yellows, neutrals, and lots of people who said they didn't want patterns received pattern tops. So yeah, it has not gone very well for Lost Stock. People's preferences are not being met, and I kind of think that's a minimum when you put this expectation on. If you said, A, it's just a mystery box, A, I think less people would have bought it, and also people would not have expected to get darks when that's what they asked for. But it seems no matter what people have ordered, they have all received the same sort of selection of the same like 20 pieces of clothing. A lot of these are from Mataland, and these items at Mataland don't cost very much. You can buy them on their website right now. And Lost Stock's excuse for this is that they're basing this on pre-COVID prices, and Mataland have brought their prices down. But I don't think in any universe 4 of these tops from Mataland would have been worth £70. You're telling me they're selling these for like around £20 each. I don't think that's realistic. A lot of people are not happy, and I completely understand why people are not happy, because although this was a charity box, Lost Stock promised certain things which they clearly have not delivered. They haven't even delivered people who wanted dark clothing, and this has more implications than just people being pissed that they didn't get what they ordered, you know? And a lot of people are trying to ask for refunds off Lost Stock Box, and Lost Stock Box really don't want you to get a refund. They say a few guilt trippy things which I do not like in the slightest. So the first time you look for a refund, it says, "Now is the time to break our returns habit and consider the environment and sustainability of our purchases." This line rubbed me completely the wrong way, because Lost Stock Box over and over again have been talking about guilt-free shopping. It's been advertised all over as just this way to help out, help the environment, help people. And now that Lost Stock Books haven't delivered what they're promised, now it's unsustainable because people are getting clothing that don't meet the specifications that seemed pretty reasonable in Lost Stock Box is like ordering form. Now that people want to return stuff, they're being like, no, but be sustainable about it, be environmentally friendly about it. And I put the onus completely onto the consumer when you have made a mess of this Lost Stock. No, don't do that. When you get further into the FAQs about trying to make a return, they said, if you choose to return your parcel, rather than wishing to allow your Lost Stock Box to continue doing good by supporting workers, families or people struggling the impact of COVID-19, you'll need to send the whole package back, and then there's logistics. So they're trying to guilt trip you into not getting a refund because, oh, think about the families. When the truth is, when you make a refund, it says any donation made to our NGO partner, shipping and VAT paid on your behalf for import will not be refunded. So if you ask for a refund, basically your donation's already been sent and you're not getting that back. So really they're trying to protect themselves here and their bottom line, not the garment workers they're trying to help. So that line about rather than trying to make your Lost Stock Box continue to do good is a lie. Money's already been sent to the NGO. You cannot get that back. The only thing you'll get back is Lost Stock's money. I do think there needs to be a bit of a reshift here, because I completely understand why people are pissed off at Lost Stock and people are considering refunds and are saying that they didn't deliver on their promises. But a lot of these items you can clearly see are from Matalan. People are finding out where these items are coming from. Where is the energy for the fact that the reason why Lost Stock exists, the reason why garment workers aren't getting paid, is because of brands like Matalan. Matalan, whose t-shirts you can still buy on their website but you're receiving in your Lost Stock Box, probably because they wanted some of their clothes but decided they didn't want all of them, so refused to pay for a lot of their supply. I don't know the logistics, but you know the reason they're in the Lost Stock Box. They haven't paid for them. That's why they're there. But where is the energy for Matalan, who have caused this mess in the first place? Yeah, I understand people being pissed off at Lost Stock for not delivering on promises, but also be pissed off at Matalan for not paying their supply chain. And I'm calling Matalan out here. Why are your clothes in these boxes? Pay your supply chains. This should not have happened. And I hope other people will join me in taking some of that rage that they rightfully feel towards Lost Stock and aiming it at the brands that are in this box. A lot of them are missing out on responsibility because the labels have been cut out, but I'm sure people can do their detective work and find out which brands are in this box. Or you can look at the Pay Up campaign, which shows you brands that still haven't paid their workers. They are the reason this exists. There's also something a little sketchy on Lost Stock Box's part of the fact that the Sajida Foundation, the NGO that they support, is based in Bangladesh, and as far as I was aware, this initiative was to help garment workers in Bangladesh, but a lot of the labels in their boxes say made in China, so what's happening here? This is a bit of a red flag, and how are these garment workers in China being supported? Plus, apparently Lost Stock have been deleting their reviews, which calls into question the transparency and the ethics of Lost Stock Box themselves. Lost Stock have now answered some people's concerns via an FAQ on Twitter, including the bit about the factories, but I want more concrete transparency in terms of statistics and locations, and there's still so many people claiming they've been blocked on social media for pointing out boxes aren't worth £70 and that they're not happy. And then it's looking at the sustainability of it all. This initiative, this Lost Stock box, as well as paying garment workers and keeping them safe and fed during the pandemic, was also supposed to keep clothing out of landfill. But if everyone's receiving a bunch of see-through crappy tops that they're not going to wear, or at least the majority of people didn't want because those weren't even the styles that they asked for, a lot of this stuff is just going to get dumped in charity shops and then is likely going to end up in landfill in somewhere like Ghana, where a lot of our clothes that are dumped in charity shops and not bought are going to end up. Because if charity shops receive an influx of these bad quality clothing that nobody really wants or very few people want, they're not going to sell them all. They're going to be shipped off to another part of the world where they're eventually going to end up in landfill just with more air miles. And so it hasn't fulfilled that purpose either. Sure, a lot of these clothes are not ending up in landfill, but a lot of them still will. And I don't like putting the onus back on the consumer here, like Lost Stock box have, but if you have clothes that you don't want out of this box, please try and do something that's not just dumping it straight in a charity shop. If it's a really nice dress or a really nice piece of clothing that's just not very you, well, try swapping it with your friends. Lost Stock box are also partnering with some clothes swap charities to help you swap clothes that you don't want. You can upcycle clothing, even like a vest top that's kind of see-through that you don't like, turn it into something like reusable cleaning cloths that you can wash. You know? You can help make this more sustainable than it was. The onus should not be on you for that. These brands should have been held accountable. This should not have happened in the first place. But now that you're stuck with the clothes that you don't want, there are more sustainable choices you can make than just putting stuff straight in a charity shop. I even saw one lady on my last video. I was talking to her about one that she'd ordered, and she said she liked the fabric on one of her dresses but it wasn't very her, and she does quilting, so she's gonna cut the fabric up and use it for quilting. There are loads of things you can do, and Besner's Guy review talks about that as well. Also, a little aside with sustainability, the packaging, the amount of plastic I've seen in these unboxings, like I know that's industry standard and not necessarily Lost Stock box's fault, but it needs to not be industry standard. It's basically what I'm saying, screw the fashion industry for the fact that this exists. Can you tell I'm pissed off about this now? This shouldn't have existed in the first place, and these brands are dodging accountability because their labels have to be cut out of their clothes, and yeah. Lost Stock may well have got overwhelmed with the fact they have over 100,000 orders, and they maybe weren't expecting that, and the algorithm they have, there may be teething problems, but from what I've seen of the way they're reacting to this first batch, they're trying to dodge accountability, and I don't agree with that. What can you do? I guess I want to end this on something where you feel empowered to do something. If you've ordered a box and you're not happy with the clothes in there, it is your right to request a refund from Lost Stock, but you're not going to get a lot of your money back, I don't think. And if you don't like the clothes that are in it, please consider swapping or upcycling or doing something other than just taking it straight to a charity shop, because charity shops are already overwhelmed with the amount of clothing they've got after COVID anyway, and they're not the solution to our overconsumption. Keep holding the brands accountable. Sure, Lost Stock box messed up and they need to be held accountable, but these brands are in here for a reason. Part of a perpetual problem within the fashion industry of completely disregarding their garment workers. These suppliers only care about profits, they only care about making money, and if you can boycott these brands, if you can speak up, if you can go on their social media and tell them you're not happy about the fact that they haven't paid their garment workers, please do that. I'll leave a link to the Pay Up campaign below so that you can learn more about it, why this is happening and how you can stop it happening again in the future. If you haven't ordered a Lost Stock box yet, from what I've seen of the reviews, I maybe wouldn't recommend it. I'm really glad I didn't buy one. But if you can still help out, you don't need to receive clothing to do that. I've left the link to Chajita Foundation, as well as a link to a few other charities and organisations that are helping garment workers at the moment who are still vulnerable and even without a pandemic are underpaid and exploited. So you can just donate money straight to them and help make a difference to their lives. And also stop supporting the fast fashion industry wherever possible. I hope this video was helpful in some way, and that those of you who wanted an unboxing from me were at least satisfied by seeing the clothes that people were getting in these boxes. And I will see you sometime soon. I said a little while ago I was going to give up on the whole YouTube thing, but I guess I'm back. I will be doing more. I'm looking at Inside Misguided next time, so that'll be a interesting video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.